Good morning there. This is the Cowboy Prophet. Today, we're going to talk about fear. I'm going to give you some things you should really be afraid of. One of them in particular is the H5N1 or the H1N1 virus, better known as bird flu. This has been around for a while. There's been other times when it's cropped up. MERS, SARS, and the rest are basically kind of variations on that. It's the staggering number of people that die from it that are concerning, 30 to 50%. This is a real threat, unlike the COVID, which would had like 1% or less. So this is a quantum jump. Bird flu has been around for a long time, and recently it's been cropping up, a new variation of it in Israel, which is important because Israel is sort of like the nexus point between Europe and Africa. So whatever transpires there gets transmitted. It's just the birds, just bird flu killed just wild birds. That would be, not good. But it's not the end of the world. The problem is that it infects chicken coops. These are millions and millions and millions of chickens, and they have to be culled to prevent it. But here's the real worry. I was the pre-med major in college, so I took courses in this, so I'm not an expert, but I do know something. I got a thing here I'm going to read to you. And New York, this is December the 3rd. The Omicron variant of the virus that causes COVID-19 likely acquired at least one of its mutations by picking up a snippet of genetic material from another virus, possibly one that causes the common cold, present in the same infected cells according to researchers. The point being this: God help us if Omicron could somehow cross over and pick up some of the diabolically horrendous fatality numbers associated with the H5N1, the H1N1, the bird flu. That is something to really worry about, okay? And I think there's a chance that this could happen. We'll see. I don't want to sell fear, but I can tell you this, that you will wear the mask then. I can quite assure you, with 50% of the people that get it drop dead. And it'll probably affect a cross spectrum of people. It won't be just the people that are marginal or have comorbidities. It'll be all kinds of people. That's a real fear, and that could crop up at any time, and the speed of transmission could be alarming. Let me give you another fear. Right up there in the sky, the sun. This is a very, very large concern, and it's not really talked about by the media because it's beyond their purview. First off, it takes intellect. You have to think it through. You have to know something about physics and chemistry and electrodynamics, astronomy, world history, geological history. You have to know some things. They just don't know that. They're actually very circumspect in what they do know. Virtually every one of them up there graduated with a degree in English, or not to discount it, or, art history or something. There's virtually no one that took, any sort of chemistry or physics courses. I can guarantee you that. When the sun erupts, which it does, and now they're finding it out, especially with the new telescopes, that it's going on lots of suns, specifically the red giants. As a matter of fact, it's progressing in consistently in our whole in our galaxy. In other words, it's coming towards us. When the sun erupts, this is going to be devastating beyond imagination. Virtually nothing will work. Your phones, your cars, your telephone, everything. If elevators, planes will fall from the sky, and this is virtually without a notice. This could happen just like that. That's a real fear. I would look into that. There's a number of different stations that really do well on this. One is Suspicious Observers, not a bunch of cranks. It's all people with a deep interest and scientific basis and basically astronomy. And they talk specifically about the sun and the cyclic nature of it because it is not nuclear. And I could prove that to you in a number of different ways. I'm going to give you threat number 3. This is right on our doorstep. That's financial ruin. We are so close to a complete and total collapse in our financial system that it boggles the mind that people aren't seeing this for what it is. You're seeing a deterioration in our dollar that's accelerating at a rapid rate. The inflation is not because of oil went up. It's not because of Putin went to Ukraine. It's because they have printed trillions upon trillions of dollars. They have degraded your money to the point where it's almost no longer worth much. And that is about to pick up. It just hasn't quite happened yet. But when it does, when the realization that the king has no financial clothing, look out. And this will happen. So those are 3 major fears that I think people should be concerned about and should be devoting their time to. Those 3 things. The other things are not real fears. What Putin is doing is basically a tempest in a teapot. This is not worthy of all the recognition is being given. This is a problem for Europe. It's not a problem for us. We shouldn't be involved as little as possible. This whole thing stems, I've repeated this before, from this absolute insane mania that they have to belong to NATO. All anyone has to think about is Russia on the Mexican border and see how much you'd like that. In a certain way, Mr. Putin has a real point, okay? But what he did was absolutely wrong. He should not have invaded like that. He should have done other things. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you later. I want to keep these under 10 minutes. Thank you very much. Cowboy Prophet signing off.